The calendar is an incredibly powerful tool that most people underestimate. And I say this all the time and I can't say it enough. So the calendar is an incredibly powerful tool that most people underestimate. And let me explain more. Let's dive into this because this was an unbelievable turning point for me. This changed the trajectory of my business, my life, everything. And it took me a really long time to figure this out because it just kind of went against the grain for me. It was like, hey, put your head down, work hard, just go fast, get it done, right? Get it done. And so when I learned to use my calendar as the unbelievable tool it is, it changed everything. So let's talk about that. Okay. I lived off my to-do list. Monday morning, I had my to-do list in my hand. I was going to take on the world. For some reason, I always just thought Monday was a longer day. I was just going to get stuff done and really attack Mondays with this to-do list, right? I thought that was the secret to everything was the to-do list. So, and when I stopped using my to-do list and I started putting things on my calendar, that's when everything changed my business. That's when I started making money. That's when things got easier. That's when I could get to the next project. I could take on things like writing a book, having a podcast, doing whatever. This was the game changer. So let me explain fundamentally why this is so, okay? So what happens is most people use their calendar for outside forces only, or to remember the odd thing like a memo on their calendar. But it's really bad math. And what the math is you're not understanding that it really is your time bank account. You're just looking at it like, for lack of anything else, a memo board. And so I really want to dive into that and break that down for you. Because if you get this, it really will change how you see your business. Okay. So people used to say to me all the time, I'd say, well, you do this every day, you do that, it's not on your calendar. And they'd say, yeah, but Chris, I do that every day. I don't need to remember it. And so again, I want to reiterate, it's not about remembering, it's about planning and how much time do you have, because your calendar is your time bank account. That's it. There's only so many hours in the day. I don't care how thin or tall or beautiful or smart you are or rich, you get the same amount of hours. So it's what we do with them, how we leverage and scale them, that gives us the freedom that we're looking for. So think about it this way. All right. Nobody else talks about it this way. And this seems to really turn a light on for people when I explain it. All right. Think about it like money. So the things that you say, Chris, I do that every day on my, I don't need to put on my calendar. I do it every day. Think about money this way. What if you said, you know what? I have a car payment that comes out every month and I know it comes every month. So I don't count it. Well, like the money's gone. The money is gone, right? So that is the same for your calendar. Okay. Your work must be counted, because when you go back here and you say, I do that every day and I don't need to remember it, what happens is you might be stumbling into your work day thinking you have 8 hours and you may only have 5. So we do need to look at our calendar as your time bank account. Okay. Not only will it save a lot of brain power and allow you to be strategic, and also we'll get into that in other sections about how then we can decide what needs to, be slimmed down, or how do we find more bandwidth on our calendar, or how do we take on that next project now that we have a clear idea of what's on our calendar, or when something interrupts your day, then we know what we have to move instead of just dealing with the current crisis and then kind of not seeing past that, and 2 weeks later going, oh, I forgot to do that thing, right? But this is fundamentally huge, understanding that your calendar is your time bank account. You get that, and we can build incredible success on top of this platform. Just trust me, start understanding your calendar is your time bank account. And the first time I did that, I still remember it was like a Monday afternoon, it was 2:00. And I had put this ridiculous to-do list, and we'll talk about why that doesn't work in another module on works against you. And when I started putting it on my calendar, and I was like, oh, this can't be done. I have this list and I'm trying to fit it into this calendar. I'm like, well, no wonder I was working later, like these insane hours. The math just was not there on any capacity. So if we can agree that your calendar is your time bank account, we can do so much. All right. Because listen, you can't improve what you don't measure. You can't be strategic with timelines and ambitions. You can't reassign work effectively. And you can't even really understand your hourly rate or delivery costs because you can't improve what you don't measure. You have no information. You're just going off this to-do list, right? So if that was helpful, say yes. All right, please. Remember, your calendar is your time bank account.